Hi everyone, I have these 5-gallon paint stirrers here that I cut with my rotary saw, and I'm going to use these end pieces to make a little picket fence with these florals and this little wooden tack. To get started, I'm going to use this truffle color chalk paint to paint all my wooden fence pieces on the front, the sides, and the back. And then I'm also going to paint that little tag. Once that's all dry, I'm going to use a little tea light candle to rub some wax on the front side of those fence pieces, but not the tag. Then I'm going to use some of this plaster chalk paint to paint over the top of that wax because I want to achieve a chippy looking effect. And you can see as I'm painting it on that already it looks nice and distressed. And I'm going to go ahead and dry brush some of that onto this tag, but I still want it to have a good solid coverage. Once that paint is all good and dry, I'm going to use my little scraper tool to start scraping away some of that white paint that's on top, and I'm going just different directions. You can kind of dig in with the edge of that little tool and of course go around the edges of your piece as well. And you can just kind of see the difference that it makes here. Then I'm going to line my fence post up and use my hot glue to secure these slats in place and create my little fence. Once I have that done, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to staple it on the back as well to make sure that it's nice and secure. And while I'm working on the back, I'm going to go ahead and attach a string hanger as well. Now I have some brown Spanish moss that I got from Walmart, and I'm just going to pull some pieces out and attach it with my hot glue to the side of my fence. I'm going to add this piece of bush greenery and my little tulip pick that I got from Walmart and staple those onto my fence post. Then I'm going to take some of this moss and glue over the top of that and the sides and just fill in some of the empty spaces. And here's what I have so far. It's coming out pretty cute. Now I'm going to work on my tag. I'm just going to sand those edges a little bit and distress them. And then I'm going to stamp out the word bloom on top of that. And once I have that stamped, I'm going to use my ink pad to distress around the edges and in those corners. Then I'm going to attach a little jute string, tie it at the top, and let it kind of hang from my fence. But I'm also going to turn it over and glue that string in place and put a little dot on the front so that it stays where I want it. And now I'm ready to make my bow. I'm going to use my regular size bow dabra, some 6-inch pieces of burlap as my back base. Then I'm going to start layering in some of this neutral muslin. I'm going to use some strips of green fabric at the back. And then I'm going to alternate strips of that neutral colored muslin with the lavender and the yellow strips of material. If you know me, you know that I like a lot of neutral, and so I'm looking for that with just a little bit of a color pop. I'm going to flip that over and tie a nice knot in the back so that it's good and secure, and then I'm going to start trimming those edges. I really want to be able to see those burlap pieces, so I'm going to cut my strips just a little bit shorter than that. And then once I have all those cut down to size, I can start separating and kind of fluffing up my bow a little bit. And then I'm also going to take my scissors and cut some of those top pieces a little shorter so that you can see all of the other layers a little bit better. And this part is optional, but I do like to take my distress ink and just rub it around on those pieces a little bit to grunge it up. Then I'm going to take my scissors here and do a little extra fraying on the ends. I really like to see a lot of fraying and strings. And then I'm going to use my staple gun to attach it to the bottom of those florals. And to finish it off, I'm going to add this natural colored ribbon. I just tied it in a little shoestring bow, and that's going to give me more of that neutral color on top with just that little bit of the other colors popping in the back. Then I'm going to take my distress ink out again, and I'm going to start going around this tag and the fence post and just kind of make it look like it's a little bit dirty to go with my little floral look. I'm going to really focus on the corners of those tags and then the corners of my fence post and along the edges. And this extra shading just gives it a little more interest. I really like the way that it looks. It's just an easy way to give a simple piece more detail. Thanks so much for watching my video today. Spring really is just right around the corner, so hang in there. And I hope this inspired you to get a little crafty. Have a blessed day.